Hi everybody, welcome to the third edition of the Tarot Times. Oh, it's a hot day in the UK. I don't know what it's like anywhere else, but we are melting here. The bells are going, which means it's dead on 4 p.m, which is our new time slot for the Tarot Times channel. We're going to be here on the last Saturday of each month at this 4 p.m. slot. So just before we see who we've got here and say hello to people, we'll just do a quick introduction of ourselves. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Simon. I've got the channel The Hermit's Cave.
I'm Becca and I've got the channel Becca Talks and Tarot.
I'm Elle. I don't have a channel. Hi.
Or a valued member of our community. So let's see who we've got. Now the chat actually isn't scrolling properly on the StreamYard. So I've got my iPad, so I'll take it from there. So first one in was Luna Eclipse. So hello, Luna. Then we have Stephanie, Cerulean, Jessie, Stephanie, and we have Jamie, Sandra, Caroline. Everybody's talking to each other, so I'm going to say their names. Again, we've got Naomi, Marina, Jackie, hi Jackie, Angeline, and Chris. Who else have we got? We've got the other Chris, and Sean, hello Sean. And then we have Marsha, Karen. Oh, you're a chatty lot. Viola, Marina, I think I might have said you, Marina. And Ms. We've got Lucian, Debbie, Naomi, did I say Naomi? Tarot and Tattoos, Shane, hello Shane. And Trisha, Wiccan. Loads of people jumping in there. Jackie, so Jackie, Jen, Lady D, Richard Wimsey, Adam, hello Adam. And where are we? Jennifer, hello Jenna, nice to see you. Ellie, different Ellie. We have Nicole, Karen. Wow, the list goes on. Laurie. I think I've caught up with everybody. Linda, and I think that's everyone. If I've missed you out, sorry, but the chat is scrolling really fast. But yeah, so welcome to everybody. As I said, this is the third edition already of the Tarot Times. The format that we're going to be following today is, first of all, we're just going to bring you some tarot community news. And then we will be looking at decks that are coming up, a selection of decks that are coming up in June, whether that's mass market, indie, or on Kickstarter, and decks that are going out of print. We will also be doing a review of the Shadowlands Tarot using our new 10-point scoring system, where we give certain areas stars out of 5. And then at the end, there will be a giveaway, because last month when we reviewed the Wizards Tarot, our Elle didn't like hers, so
she hated it.
Like it is. So she's offered hers up, and thank you for people who've entered the draw over the last month. So Becca will be drawing the name at the end of the stream. So we've got the names there in a bowl ready to go. So we hope everybody's okay. Tell us how you really feel, Elle. Yeah, it's all honesty on this channel. So a little bit of community news. So for those of you who don't know, tomorrow kickstarts the 3rd annual Tarathon event, starting at 10 a.m. UK time in the Hermit's Cave and going through a 24-hour period, finishing back in the Hermit's Cave at 10 a.m. on Monday, the 1st of June. So we have 24 channels that are involved and taking part this year with a variety of subjects. You can't have escaped the itinerary that have been posted in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group, on community posts, on YouTube, on Instagram. They've been sent out everywhere. So hopefully you'll be able to join those taking part in Tarothon tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. I know we say each year gets better and better, but there's a real array of subjects this year, and I'm staying up for the full 24 hours. If you want to do the 24-hour challenge and join us, then I don't think you'll regret it, because there's such diversity of subjects. It will be enough to keep you interested and going. Another little bit of community news is just around the annual UK Tarot meetup, which we do the first weekend in August. Obviously, this year we've been hit by something very unforeseen when we all made plans last year, which is obviously the coronavirus situation. And so I think it's going to be a much smaller event, even if it happens. Some people have had obviously their flights cancelled who are coming from abroad. There's the whole 14-day quarantine situation. Hotels have been cancelled on some people. As it stands at the moment, I'm still heading down there because my hotel hasn't cancelled yet, but if that changes, it changes. But I think what we're going to do is carry that over as well to next year. So if you can come this year, great, but it'll be a much smaller event, and of course social distancing will still need to be maintained. But if we continue and say that in 2021 we will do Glastonbury again, because of all those people who are looking forward to it and have had to miss out through no fault of their own. All right, shall we get cracking on decks for June? And I think, Becca, you've got the first one, haven't you?
I have, and sorry about the dog in the background. He probably will bark, but okay. So the first deck we've got is the Liminal Spirits Tarot. It's available for sorry, it's the Oracle, not the Liminal Spirits Tarot. This will be released on the 1st of June, and you can pre-order it now on Amazon. So it's a deck by Laura Tempest Zakroff. I think that's how you say it. And she's the author of Weave the Liminal too. So this is a deck that can be used focus for meditation. Also, it's a tool for spellcraft, and it's rooted in modern traditional witchcraft. So it's got many layers. It says there are occult themes, beautiful art, and softness throughout the entire thing, deck and book. So yeah, it's the liminal space. Sorry, scrap that. I was looking at the wrong bit. So yeah, it is, by the sound of it, it's a really beautiful deck that has got lots of purpose.
I've had a look at it. Do you think it'll be one that you'll get?
I'm just looking at some of the images. I'm not sure. It's I mean, it's got the lot of elements that I like, particularly because it's can be used as a tool for spellcraft as well. But I'm not sure. But it's available pre-order, so you've only got to wait a day because it's released on the 1st of June. It's designed to sort of tap into your deep energies within yourself. Yeah.
I looked at it, and because I'm not really collecting Oracle at the minute, Oracle decks, probably not one that I'd get. But when I looked at it, I actually thought, oh, I think Becca might like that. But I think it was because of the colours and the tones to it. But
Well, I don't know if you can see because it might be a little bit.
not really.
No, you probably can't see that. But it's got some really nice art. I mean, like, it's got a peacock, but also one of the cards in there is a mandrake root, which Harry Potter fans will really like that because it's got the. Hang on, that might be a bit better. There.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
It's got a face on it, like the Harry Potter.
Turnip.
Yeah.
Turnips are you eating?
You know, like the vegetable patch cartoons when we were kids, Becca.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Back in the Stone Age.
So, and that's the cover art for the box. Well.
Ooh.
Yeah. I quite like it, and if I was getting Oracle decks, then I think I might get that. But excellent.
I don't think I will. I like it, but yeah, we'll see. Watch this space, you know.
And also, thank you to Jen from Jen's Balance Tarot, who's put in links in for us, so that as we're talking about these decks, you're able to check them out and see if it's something that you want to get. So also out on the 1st of June, which is Monday, just 2 days away. June is 2 days away. There are 3 mini decks out. Now, I know that some of these have been out already in the States, but this is, you know, we're talking about in the UK, because that's where myself, Becca, and Elle reside. So the Everyday Witch Tarot Mini is out, and that's a definite purchase for me. I've got the Everyday Witch, and I really like it. It's a great deck. It reminds me, again, of childhood books like Ladybird and things like that, and I really like the artwork. And I think having a nice little mini deck, I think I'll be able to, you know, carry it around with me in my travel kit and things like that. The other one, well, the second after 3 is the Line Strider Tarot Mini. And I just remember thinking, wow, they're brave. Because the Line Strider, even full size, is, I don't know, I just think there's a lot of detail in there. Not so much perhaps like Shadowlands, but Line Strider for me is one of those where you have to really study it and have a look at it. So I'm not quite sure how that will translate as a mini tarot, but I'll be interested to see. And then the third one is the Steampunk Tarot Mini. So there seems to be a bit of a mini craze at the minute with these decks being done. Now, I have got, I think it's the Victorian Steampunk Tarot, but I gave away the Steampunk Tarot. I didn't connect with it. It was not a deck that I really connected with, so I won't be getting the Steampunk Tarot Mini. But 3 mini decks, Everyday Witch, Line Strider, and Steampunk, all being released on Monday in the UK on the 1st of June.
And then I have the Enchanted Unicorn Oracle by Priestess Moon, and it's going to be out on the 11th of June, and it's by Rockpool. This oracle is inspired by the Voynich manuscript, a medieval work that is one of the most perplexing mysteries in the history of cryptology. Within the 36 cards and the accompanying booklet, the mystical nature of the cryptic codex is explored beautifully, matching the myth and magic of unicorn legend. Nice. It gives you access to the magic of plants, exciting spells, rituals, and the wisdom and power of the unicorns. Fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that will be out on the 11th of June.
What do you think to it? Have you been able to have a good look?
Not gonna lie, I've not looked at it. But it doesn't really sound like my cup of tea. Although saying that, I've literally got a unicorn bag, so maybe I should get it just to put it in my Shane bag.
Don't you have the crystal unicorns?
I don't.
Oh, I thought you did. I don't know
don't.
why I thought that.
Can you hear things going on outside my window?
No.
Okay, good. Because I live in the middle of nowhere and there's a police chase going on. There's a dog having a good go outside. So I'm glad you can't hear it.
Oh, and I live in a city centre. We don't have that much action.
Oh, yeah. And I can hear a pigeon now starting. So
Okay. Becca, you've got the next one, haven't you?
I have, and I was more excited about this one than the first one. So this is the Murder of Crows Tarot, which will be released on the 25th of June, and it's a low Scarabeo deck by Conrad Roy. There's the cover of it. So this deck, it describes the synopsis as an omen bringer, messenger, and guardian and scavenger, talking about the crow. And the crow has no master. Black cards with just a hint of red blood colour. This Gothic deck brings fear and disquiet into tarot, as never seen before. That's a big claim. And tarot to read with your own soul. So, yeah, I mean, that is a big claim, but there aren't any other pictures that I can see when I was looking for this. But so, yeah, but that's the cover, and so presumably it's going to be an all kind of black and white deck with this kind of red color here, scattered amongst the 78 cards. So
Nice.
yeah, I thought so. So yeah, quite interested in that one.
So I've got the Crow Tarot, but I don't use it hardly ever. So I don't know. This one looks a little bit different. It looks a little bit more, I don't know, a bit more horror filmish, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a dark deck for sure. But whether it is as they claim, we'll find out when it is actually released. But it does sound quite interesting and something a little bit different. Yeah, so I'm quite excited about that one.
Cool. Okay, so the next one is the Primordial Tarot. Primordial Tarot. It's easy for me to say. And it's by Sergio Topi. It's going to be published on the 25th of June, and the publisher is Lo Scarabeo. And I love the look of this. I've been having an eye on this for quite some time. It kind of reminds me, some of the artwork, it reminds me a little bit of Dust to Onyx kind of vibe to it. And it says, this deck is a masterpiece of the renowned artist and master Sergio Topi, or Topi, I suppose it's Topi because it's double P, published many years ago, ahead of its time, as Tarot of the Origins. So that was its original name. This deck carries the reader into the world of early mankind, when spirituality and the material world were one and the same. The deck is all about raw emotions, extremely loud when it shouts, uncannily silent when it's quiet. Wisdom, after all, is not words. It's a spark of light in the night. And it says it's 78 full color cards with instructions, and it looks incredible. It really does look incredible. I like Dust to Onyx, but not enough to spend the spends on what it would cost to buy it. Wasn't it something like over £100 or something to buy, or around the £100 mark? And then, of course, shipping and customs, it would have been a very expensive purchase. And I'm not saying they're one of the same, they're not, but the Primordial Tarot just gives me that same sort of vibe, but that very early mankind humankind type of raw emotions. It's very expressive, it's very deep, and it's very raw as well. I really like the look of it, so I'm really excited about that coming out. I just hope Lo Scarabeo do a good job with its packaging and everything else, because it warrants it for this deck.
Yeah.
So I assume you changed your mind. So I remember you saying you didn't like it.
When I first saw one of the images very early on, I was like, I'm not too sure, I'm not really getting it. And then doing the research for this and finding a lot more about it, some of the images really spoke to me. There was really, I don't know, especially when it says, you know, when it's loud, it's really loud when it shouts, and it's really silent when it's quiet. You really get that sense from the images. They just, a bit like in the Goliath Tarot, you know, some of those images in there, you can hear them, can't you, just from the way they've been illustrated. And it's very similar with the Primordial Tarot. So yeah, I changed my mind, Elle.
Ooh. So next up, okay, I'm probably going to butcher this. It's the Mahabharata Oracle. Is that right?
Yeah, Mahabharata.
By Gita Rash, and it's going to be out on the 28th of June. And it's published by Schiffer, and it's inspired by one of the oldest and greatest epics known to man. I've forgotten how I said it before.
Mahabharata.
Yeah, the oldest recorded document in existence, is reflective of human errors and foibles. Oh, I love that word, foibles, and triumph of good over evil. Heighten your awareness with this intriguing original, first on the subject 36 card deck and guidebook, which embodies archetypes of the attributes of the human psyche, born of emotions and feelings that rear periodically. Sounds quite interesting.
It does.
Yeah. And the cardstock and everything looks really nice as well from what I've seen. Really nice images. So that's it for mass produced. Now, Sandra, who's great, she's done all the research, was saying that there's not a lot really in terms of independent decks that are coming out during this month. But that's quite, you know, unsurprising really with the current situation. But there are Kickstarters that we're going to go on to talk about next. So Becky, you've got the first one, haven't you?
I have. And I must confess, I have been like stalking Kickstarter, and I have looked at this several times, but it is the Cute Cat Tarot. It was created by two sisters, Sheila and Sonia, who live across the world from each other. And it's actually fueled by the love of cats as well as passion to create something magical and special during mandated self-isolation due to COVID-19. So they worked together to create a tarot card filled with adorable, whimsical cats. So I'll show you some of the images which are there. So it's very pastel-y colours, which I like.
Why?
Yeah, so that is quite nice. So it's a 78 card deck, will include, you know, the usual minors and majors. So yeah, the project is fully funded. However, there is still a lot of stretch goals that we haven't reached. And they've only got a few days left. So if you want to dive in and back it, now's the time to do it. But it does look super cute, and the death card, I've got to say, is pretty darn awesome. So
Oh, the little ratty.
Yeah, and the with a little mouse down there or rat. So yeah, it looks really nice.
Cool. Okay, so the Kickstarter deck that I'm going to mention is the Deck of Many Animated Spells and More Tarot. So this is a tarot deck that's coming out where there'd already been some spell decks to go with them. It's by Hit Point Press, and the Kickstarter campaign ends on the 11th of June. And it's will have its completion and release in January 2021. Now, this is quite an interesting deck. You get those kind of 3D images. It's called lenticular, a lenticular lens, where the creators have animated onto physical card 8 frame looping. So it's like 8 frames, and as you move the card, it therefore animates the images on the card. So it's quite a clever process. It reminds me of those pictures you sometimes get where you walk past them and the head turns and follows you. Or, I don't know, Einstein becomes Marilyn Monroe. Do you know those kind of things, those pictures that change as you move with them? You've not seen that, Elle?
No.
Okay. But that's the lenticular is the process where it's layering images and they have a film over it, which then means that it can, when it's tilted or moved, the cards appear to come to life. The cards are going to be made from plastic, and therefore they'll be waterproof as well. So the animated tarot deck will have 78 animated cards with a tarot booklet, and there'll also be the spell decks available with the campaign, which are basically role-playing game cards. So you do get a full 78 card tarot deck, but also the spell games that you can get as well as playing game cards. You can choose to add on one or several of these to your reward, or you can just go for the deck alone. So there's lots of options there. If you want the deck, great, you can have it, but then you can, for your reward, back the other spell card game cards. I think they look really cool. I just think, for me, I'm not sure if it is for me because I don't know if it's a little bit gimmicky. I've often seen, I think there's a mages only deck out there, isn't there? The RWS, which are quite large cards and also have that sort of 3D when you twist them. So the fool is going like that, backwards and forwards over the edge of the cliff. That's
Going like what?
I find it a little bit gimmicky, but it's cool, it's novel. So you'll have to check it out and see what you think.
And then I've got the Solaris Tarot. I think it's the second printing, and it's out on the, it ends on the 20th of June, and it's supposed to be completed for September. So it's a Star Wars inspired tarot deck by an artist, Elythian, who is based in London. And you've got your favourite characters from Star Wars, from the sequel trilogy, but also a few from the rest of the saga. So you can explore the characters and symbolisms represented by each tarot, illustrated by the artist's own interpretation. Oh, it's got some gold foil edges, 78 cards and a bonus card, and a velvet finish. Ooh.
Very nice.
Yeah, a bit of Star Wars. Can't go wrong with that.
Well, you can, but
Oh, so you don't like Harry Potter, and now it's not Lord of the Rings. Star
I like
Wars.
Rings either. No, or Star
What
Wars.
are you?
I don't like Star Wars either.
Or Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings.
Or Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or anything else that resembles them.
So
Right, delete me. Get me off this stream. How do I leave? How do I? Really? What were you doing when you were kids? What were you watching?
Oh, we had enough to entertain ourselves when we were kids.
Oh yeah, it was the 70s.
80s. You're next, Becca.
Yeah, I'm next. Right, okay. The next Kickstarter is the Celtic Myths Myths and Legends Tarot. No, Celtic Myth and Magic. I keep mixing that up. A tarot deck for the future, it says. So this is, it features many Celtic style designs as well as ancient wildlife. The 4 houses in the deck are based on the 4 elements, so earth, air, fire, and water, and weave in creatures that we connect with, worship for their almost magical status. So I really like the sound of this. So, and these creatures are wolves, horses, deer, birds of prey. That's just to name but a few. So it's got 78 backers and it's got 25 days left to go. I love the look of some of the artwork in this. It's right up my alley for sure.
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh.
Beautiful images, the ones that I can see. So yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. So it's going to be full color cards. Some of these images haven't been colored yet. Detailed guidebook and information on each card, and a guide to readings. And you can get an optional protective pouch by the artist. So it's using recycled shipping materials as well, which is really a really nice touch. And there's just another
little badger.
Oh, little badger.
Yeah. So yeah, that one I really like the look of that one.
Cool. Okay, so I also wanted to mention the Purgatorium. Well, it's a fortune telling card deck, a divination deck, I should say. And it's by Mr. Freeborg, who is part of our community, comes into our chats, is in the Hermit's Cave. And this is a Kickstarter campaign that launches on Wednesday. So it launches on the 3rd. You can check out his Facebook, which is Arcantum by Mr. Freeborg. Or I know Jen's got a link there. I love the fact that his U's have been replaced with a V, like the old stonemason carving. It takes it back to like a real Gothic time. I've had a look at this and I love it. I'm really excited for it. So Purgatorium is a tool for divination. It has black and white Gothic sketch images, which are really nice. The system, because it's not a tarot or an oracle as such, it's this divination tool of its own. It's the 10 septenaries representing the 10 human conditions and the planets and celestial spheres, each going through 7 stages of loss, which was set by Dr. Kubler-Ross. So, you know, the shock, denial, anger, bartering, that sort of thing. And yeah, they just look absolutely brilliant. So I'm really excited for that. And he has been putting a few images into the Hermit's Cave Facebook group as well. And Becca, I think he's done some on your Facebook group, hasn't he?
There's quite a few images to have a look at on there. So yes.
Yeah. So that starts, that Kickstarter launches on Wednesday.
And I've got the Black Power Tarot. It's the 2nd printing, I'm pretty sure. And it's a new version of the Tarot de Marseille. It's a majors only deck, and it's featuring black musicians, comedians, activists, and people of note. So it's got, for example, let's have a look. Okay, I'm on the website now. Got like Nina Simone and Etta James, Little Richard. Yeah, it's got, oh wait, see if I can show you a few pictures. See if I can do a Becca and get all techie. We got,
oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, I wish it was a full deck, but I'm not really into mages, but I'm really tempted.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're the same size as like the standard tarot cards, so I can just swap, put some minors in with it, and swap the
Yeah,
mages.
different backs and things, but I suppose that's not too much of a worry. Yeah, I don't really do the whole mages only thing either. But I'd probably be more tempted to do a mages only deck with a Marseille than I would, say, an RWS. And I do have the Dodal card, hand painted ones, because they're a collector piece, which are mages only. But I do prefer a full deck. So that's decks for June, guys. That's the ones we thought we'd talk about for June. So now we move on, unless anybody's got any questions, we will move on to the review of the Shadowlands Tarot. So who wants to go first, just before we do the breakdown? Who wants to just give an overall thought on the Shadowlands? Oh, shall I then?
Do it.
Okay, so I bought this last month. Absolutely fallen head over heels in love with this deck. I think it's been an amazing tool to work with over the last 4 weeks. Usually I will work with a deck in the morning and a different deck in the evening. So normally like an RWS in the morning and a Marseille in the evening. I've not been able to put this down, and other decks that I bought haven't really had a look in because this one has been right for my attention the whole time. It's just it's Shadowlands, so I intended to work with the shadow, but it is quirky. It's got humour. The book is beautifully written. In fact, it's probably one of my favourite accompanying tarot books. And I just think it's really, really great. My only criticism is that the deck came bowed a little bit, and I pressed it under books, and over time it's still going a little bit bowed. And because I've used it now for 4 weeks, some of the gilding is starting to wear a little bit. But I love it that much, I bought a backup. And I've checked the cards in the backup, and they're flat, they're not bowed. So I think it's luck of the draw. But I have seen quite a few people talk about the fact that theirs has come a little bit bowed as well.
Mine is exactly the same. It's got quite a, and I've tried flattening it, but it's got quite a prominent bow in the cards there. But you know, some people riffle shuffle, so theirs gets bowed anyway, you know.
Yeah. So my favourite cards, before everybody else says about theirs and what they like about it, the Seven of Swords. I love that version of the Seven of Swords. But I also like that a lot of the cards in this deck continue on. There's a theme. So there we see the 10, and oh, it goes opposite, doesn't it? I like the fact that the 7 and then the 10 with even more of a burden to carry. I love the 6 of Cups, which is the nostalgia card, but here you've got this lovely family sitting around, making memories, just enjoying each other's time and company. I love the 6 of Swords, because that boat that's taking somebody from troubled times to a better shore, it's being carried along by this monster, this like Loch Ness type monster, fiery dragon. But you know, in face of adversity, they're riding it out and seeing the positives. Love the 5 of Cups. That's one of my favorite versions of the 5 of Cups. The Hierophant. Love the Hierophant. And again, that continuation. The very next card after the Hierophant is the Lovers. And the Hierophant has found somebody. And it's just lovely how that continues on. I think the Moon card, I've got 10 favorite cards. The Moon card I adore. I love how it's wearing this kind of wolf mask, you know, and look how the crayfish that appears in the Moon Tarot is on this little leash and being led along the path between those two pillars, which here are trees. And the canine creatures that we see in the Moon card is represented within the moon. The 10 of Cups, I love. We get the rainbow that we see from the family in the Ten of Cups, but it's the pots of paint all coming together, you know, and spilling over to create this beautiful rainbow pattern below. Love discretion for the Judgment card, because at the end of the day, it's all down to discretion, isn't it? And then my favorite card out of the whole deck, which I absolutely love, is the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles, as you know, is a really important card for me anyway. It was what connected me with the RWS, because I saw my life in the Five of Pentacles. Here, we've got this Sasquatch who's an observer. He's looking on at this little family that's enjoying the wilderness, enjoying the great outdoors by the water, having this picnic and family time. And he's an outsider. You know, he's not there because he wants to attack. He's there because he wants to be a part of it, you know. And I just think it is such a beautiful and powerful version of the Five of Pentacles. Who's going to go next?
I don't mind going next, and I got my piles here separate from the rest of the deck, and I'm all about colour, so it would have been no surprise that top for me was the paint pot one. I just thought that's glorious, the way those colours, and they're all running down towards this little guy down here, this little crab, wrong way, that way, this little crab down here, all the colours are flowing down. I also love the Ten of Wands. This mouse, he's got all these wands, you know, he's only a little boy, but he's struggling along there, carrying all this pile on his back, and yeah, he's not giving up. he's carrying on regardless, and I really like. It reminds me, one of the reasons why I like that card, it reminds me of the mice from the mouse organ on Bagpuss.
Yeah. Eve, Eve.
Yeah, this is a children's program. But they had to pull, and they had to pull these things along, and they would go heave, heave, and pull these loads. Anyway, moving on.
I still know the song. I'm not going to subject you to it, but I can still sing the song from Bagpuss.
Please, please.
No.
I also like that. I like the Three of Wands. I've got a lot of wands for some reason. Again, the colours are just adorable in this deck, and I love the fact that the octopus is the one that is bearing the lights to stop the ship coming down onto the rocks. Yeah. Colours in that are gorgeous. I love the Five of Swords, because this dude here, look, is clutching all these corns, and the other two little chat are like, okay, well, right, there's nothing for us then. But it makes a change to see it in animal form, and you do see this in the animal kingdom quite a lot, as well as the human kingdom. But I like that. Made me laugh, as did the Nine of Cups, the whale on the Nine of Cups. I loved his cheeky expression on that face, those teeth, and the colour again for that. And I also like the Four of Cups. I've got a 9, like Simon had 10, I've only got 9. Four of Cups, the cat, dreaming about the cat, dreaming about the cat, dreaming about the cat. I thought that was really clever and quirky. The next one was the Five of Swords, because of the owls in there. I thought that was cute. And I love the star cards. Star cards are always one of the things that I look for in a deck. And if I like the star cards very often, then it's right up my alley. But I just thought that was beautiful. This mix of colour down here at the bottom. Yeah, and she's pouring that out of a jug, and that is like a rainbow color as well into the big pool of rainbow water. I like
Wow.
Well, I've only got 3 favourite cards, so it's a bit awkward. But I like the 5 of Pentacles. It's just so cute. I love how I love the interpretation of it. It's really cool. And the 2 of Cups, because they're just so cute.
That is cute.
They like little seahorses without the sea part, just land seahorses. I don't know what they are, but they're cute. And then the 3 of Swords, because it was my Stalker card, and with this deck. So, and he's pretty cool. And yeah, those are my 3 favourite.
Oh, and how have you both found working with the deck over the last month? Because we've worked with this for nearly a solid month, haven't we?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I've been using it every day as well. And when I first heard about this, I wasn't sure that I was going to like it because, I don't like the Deviant Moon and I don't like things that are a little bit odd. Well, apart from you guys. But yeah, I've loved it. And despite it being a Shadowlands about working for your shadows and things, it's actually had the exact opposite effect on me. Because it seems to have brought joy out in the readings, and it's made me smile, even if it's a particularly a downer type of card, like one of the sword cards. It still made me kind of smile. So yeah, I haven't found it shadowy for me at all in terms of sort of dealing with the shadow side.
Someone's just asked if they could see the 10 of Swords again, so I'm just showing that while you're talking. That's the 10 of Swords. And Elle?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to. Well, I'm not sure. I like it. I'm just really surprised. This to me, when I first saw it, I didn't think it was going to be a shadow deck or anything at all. I thought, oh, it's a fluffy deck. I can't do shadow work with this. Because I just thought with decks for shadow work, you need to be like punched in the face to work on yourself. You can't have like little cutesy images. It's not going to evoke anything, but it surprisingly has. And it's really interesting, all the different interpretations. And the book is just amazing that goes with it. So that's added a whole new layer. And yeah, I'm definitely keeping this, spoiler alert, because I think it adds something completely different to my collection that I've not got.
I agree. It's so unique. And normally I will read a book once if it comes with it and it's an interest to me, I'll read it and I don't really refer to it again. But I just find that I read one of these cards, my way of reading it, and then I go and read what the book has to say, just to bring on those extra little nuances, because Monica Buditsky is just brilliant as a writer. So shall we go into our 10 category, how we rate certain aspects of this deck? We give 5 stars to 1 of 10 categories. So the first one is the box and the packaging. So anybody want to kick off? So here's the box for everybody at home. Nice magnetic closure. You get the book which goes inside. Have you lost your box?
You're right there, Becca.
I've lost my book.
That's okay, I can show it here, but did you rate it?
I'd rate it like a 3.5. I'm not really a fan of big boxes, to be honest.
Okay.
I love it. I like the box. The structure of it. I like the magnetic closure. Because I love the deck, it's a box that I'm going to keep. I don't very often keep boxes, but this one I am. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars.
Wow, I gave it 5 stars. For me, this is just perfect. I love the way it sits on the shelf, like a book. I just love everything about it. I like the fact that it's matte. I like the fact it's magnetic closure. I think it is. I really like Schiffer decks. I'm surprised it hasn't got the little ribbons at the side, but sometimes they get trapped when you shut them and they stick out. So I prefer that it hasn't got it. But I give it 5 out of 5. For me, this is a nice, sturdy keepsake box. So,
I threw mine away.
You threw yours away?
I think so. I can't be dealing with big old boxes.
What do we think of the box?
I gave this a 5 out of 5 because I think this could so easily be a standalone book. I think it outshines the typical, guidebook that goes with a tarot deck. This could be used for any deck. This would be really great for, beginners or intermediates or anyone. Yeah, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, whatever we're doing. Stars, 5 stars.
5 stars.
Yeah, same for me, 5 stars. It's beautiful, glossy pages. I love the fact that on each page for each of the cards, not only do you get the keywords for it on that line, you also get underneath it, you get the shadows for each of that. Then you get the message, and you also get reflections on the cards as well, and the actual description. Every detail is mentioned. One of the criticisms of the Wizard's Tarot, it didn't tell us anything about what was in the images. This describes every last little detail.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely a brilliant book. Yeah, 5 stars for me.
I agree. And also, if you don't want to, if you're just in a rush or you've read the book already and you don't want to read all the detail, there is also just a little bit. So for Temperance, it says, I am the lesson of balance through higher spiritual awareness and dramatic transformation. So you can have a very quick reference or you can read all the detail. The quality of this book it's brilliant. It's sturdy, as Becca said, it's glossy. There's so much in the back as well as what you get with the cards. But you know what? It smells amazing. I keep sniffing this book. It just smells really nice. And I'm a sniffer.
Smush your nose right into it.
Spider boats.
The spider that goes down the page, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the little things like that make it a really good book. So
yeah, it's got like a frequently asked questions section, bit on numerology and spreads, and yeah, it's got everything you could ever want in a tarot book.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, diversity and representation. It's a tough one, isn't it? This one, because it's animation and monsters and creatures and.
That's why really... I like these type of decks, that because everybody is represented, anybody can see themselves within these cards, because they don't discriminate between anybody. I mean, it's animals and quirky creatures. So
Exactly. Yeah. Look at an image like that, and that's without gender. That's without, age or ethnicity. What I do like, though, is in the writing, they will refer to people of colour. They will refer to trans community as well. So they'll say, here is a gender neutral person and describe the scene. So I think it tries to include people who are perhaps feel marginalized within the tarot, but it does it in such a way where, as you said, we can see whatever we want to see, and if we want to see ourselves in the tarot, then using a deck like this makes it a little bit easier to do that. How are your thoughts on representation?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, because I mean, it's kind of doesn't represent. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure how I would, if I can even rate it. Because I mean, yeah, like you said with the book, and you can look at these characters and kind of see yourself from the characterization, but you know, like physically and whatnot, it's kind of impossible in a way because they're not human. So I don't really know how I'd. I mean, if I was going by the book, then yeah, I'd say the representation is good because yeah, like you said, it does.
So I've just picked up the book and opened onto the first page, and the first page I pulled open says Page of Pentacles. This page is a young, non-binary gender young person who is very grounded, productive, and self-contained. So it has got representation in there, and it's that image that I just showed. Isn't that strange as well? It's the image that I just showed without even realizing that. So yeah, so I for that I gave it a 5 because how can it not be representative?
Yeah.
Because it's all inclusive. It tries to bring everybody in.
Yeah, I was the same. It doesn't exclude anybody. I mean, the only slight criticism that I might have in terms of that is the ones that are kind of like could almost be regarded as like human type figures have all got this like well, there's no flesh tone at all, so I suppose they're all quite like stark white, but that they're all the same, so maybe there is no color at all to these creatures, which again would exclude anything like that. I'm just trying to find, there's a hand pentacle card, and you know, like the sun card again, but it's just like this plain white figure. So maybe a couple of the ones that humanoid type could have been a different skin tone. But yeah, there's the hand again.
Yeah.
But apart from that, you know, I don't.
I also
So, yeah.
thought there was one particular card that showed somebody, I think, with an artificial limb. Yeah, the strength card, which quite interesting to have people with differing abilities as well. So
Yeah.
I think it does it quite well.
Yeah, so I'm giving it 5 for that.
Art style, I love it. I'm just going to hit straight out there. I love the art style. I think it's quirky. I think it's fun. I think it's great that it's shadowy, but also quirky and fun. Yes, it can pack a punch, but it does it in such a way that it's inoffensive and it's just wonderful. And I love the art style. I had her Oracle, House of Shadows Oracle, which is a Lenormand deck, but I used it as an Oracle for a couple of years now, and I've always admired her art.
Yeah, I absolutely love it as well. I love the colours in it. All the colours in this deck are right up my alley. They're just beautiful. I love the fact that all the images are like sketchy, like you can see that they're drawn. Yeah, and it's quirky. It's completely different to anything I've got. in my tarot collection, and it's just amazing. So 5
Yeah,
stars.
I agree. Yeah, I really love the artwork. I'd give it, like a 4 or a 5 star, I think. Because, yeah, it's, I mean, what's not to love? I mean, how cute.
Yeah. Readability. I give it 4 out of 5. Just because for me, for a deck to get readability, for it to get 5 stars would be I could pick up the card instantly and just read it. And I have found with this that it takes a little bit of time on some of the images, and I've had to refer to the book. I've tried to interpret myself, knowing what I know of whatever card that is from my RWS knowledge. Well, if it deviates away from that a little bit, then I've found that I've had to rely on the book just to get that further insight. So I give it a 4 out of 5 for readability.
See, that doesn't bother me in that sense, because a deck like this is a bit like the Hush Tarot. I think you need to know what the artist had in terms of each card. So the fact that I've had to pick up the book or maybe look at the description, I've only had to do that once, and then it is a really, really readable deck in my view. So yeah, I'm giving mine 5 for readability. I thought it was very, very easy to read. Yeah, love it.
I'd probably give it a 4. So, I mean, this is interesting that you guys both love this card. I would say for a beginner, I don't think you'd really be able to understand what that means without looking at the book. I mean, even to be honest, I would struggle because I'd want to see like the family and like celebration and all that. So yeah, I'd give it a 4 just because I would say you'd have to look at the book for some of these to really understand what it's trying to say.
Yeah, cool. Individuality and uniqueness. 5 for me. Can't be anything. It's completely unique. It's completely individual. And like you said, Becca, I haven't got a deck like this in my collection, and that's why I love it so much.
Yeah, completely unique. I've never seen anything like this. And what is more, I never thought I would love anything like this. But I do, and that's unique in itself for me. So yeah, it's fab. 5 stars again.
Yeah, same, 5 stars. I mean, there's nothing else like this that I've seen. And yeah, it's definitely filled a gap in my collection. So yeah, fine.
Cool. Cardstock. Now, this is my lowest score. I scored this a 3, only because I think it's great that Schiffer have now moved. And when I say Schiffer, I know it's Red Feather, but that's an arm of Schiffer. I think it's brilliant that they've gone to this more tarot size card. I think it's great that they've stopped those super glossy cards. I like the fact that it's borderless. I like the fact that it's matte. But with the gilding coming off a little bit just after 1 month, and the fact that the card stock is nice, I've seen so many people post in the Hermit's Cave and different places saying my cards are bowed. So if they could just sort that out so that there was a little bit firmer or didn't bow so much, then I would love it, because everything else about this is just great, but the bowing is a little bit off-putting.
Yeah, I like the finish on them. I love how they've got that lovely sort of matte and soft, and but yeah, my gilding is coming off. But most of all, I mean, there is a really, I don't know if you can see, but there is a really prominent bend in these cards, and it doesn't matter what I do to I mean, that doesn't bother me. It is what it is. The other thing is that when I bent that card, normally card decks, they've got a bit of a spring back in them, and when I buckled, I can't find the card now, which is typical. When I bent it, it folded like cardboard. Now I've badly shuffled a Llewellyn deck before and like banged them into each other and bent the card right back, and it's sprung back more or less. The corner of my Shadowlands Tarot bent like cardboard, you know, like if you bent a cardboard box. So yeah, I mean, but I love how they feel. So I mean, I'm reluctant to give it a 4 because I like the idea of giving it a 5, but I can't get past its bend in there. So yeah, I suppose I'll have to give it a 4.5.
Al?
Yeah, I'd give it a 3 because it feels really nice and it looks really well. After a month, it looks like I've had this. This looks like one of my most used decks, and I've got decks that are like 2 years old that I've, you know, beaten and riffled to death, and it's all chipped away, kind of. It's just looks a bit battered, especially on the corners. They've all kind of rubbed off. And my deck looks straight now, but as soon as I riffle it, it really badly bows. I bet it's not going to do it now. But like as soon as you do it, it just bows and it kind of clicks. Yeah, you kind of got to really bend it back all the time. So yeah, I think their cardstock still needs a bit of work, but they're heading in the right direction.
Definitely are.
I found the card. And it's me. If I bent that too much, it would snap. It would start to look. Feels like it would snap.
Yeah.
No kind of because normally with a card you can sort of straighten it back out. But it's so weak at the point where it's bent. I think it's going to actually come off.
Chris asked about the size compared to a standard tarot. They're the same height exactly, but they're a little bit narrower than a standard. So you can see there's just a little bit underneath. Perhaps if I do it that way, it would be better to show you. Okay, so it's a little bit narrower. Okay, so the next category is backs. What do we think to the backs? We have backs, don't we? They are reversible. Bright yellow with black sketchwork. I give it a 4. I quite like it.
I love those bats. The only thing I don't like that I would have preferred is not such a bright yellow, a more muted, maybe like the blue here, rather than being so. But I love the bats. So just if the colour was different, I'd be 5. But because I don't like bright yellow, 4.
They're all right. You know, I'll take them. I'd say 3. Yeah, nothing. Wow, but yeah, they'll do. They're all right. They'll do the job.
They go well with the backs on the House of Shadows as well. They kind of go nicely with that. Value for money, price point.
Yeah, this is tricky because we've all paid different prices for it.
Yeah.
I paid £46.
This one was 28. My second one was 32. I have seen it go above 60 on Book Depository. I think it went for 65 at one point on Book Depository. So the big jump from 28 to 65. When Becca bought it, she was like, I could get an indie deck for that, but this is the quality of an indie deck. That's the thing, isn't it? You know, if you bought an indie deck and it came like this, you would be, you know, the gilding, the matte, the thickness of the deck, and the packaging, everything. So I give it a 4, just because, and it's not the fault of the publisher or Monica. You know, it's just a buyer's market, and if there's a big interest, they hike the price up. So it's people like Amazon and Book Depository that are at fault. But for £28, amazing. I probably would have paid around 40, 45 for this. I wouldn't have paid 65.
No, I mean, what I thought, you know, originally, like you said, 46, I could get an indie deck. But when you said it feels like indie quality, I thought, I'll reserve judgment. But when I actually got it, I couldn't get over how fabulous it feels, even with the tiny little faults, like the bend in the cards. I would pay 46 again to get this if I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, you get a really great book. Box is, you know, great, really great cardstock, you know, despite its drawbacks. Yeah, I paid, I think, 32, so kind of in the middle. I'd say that's good value for money. Yeah, I wouldn't pay like the 60 or something. That's pushing it a bit, but yeah, I'd say 4 out of 5 for that.
Yeah. So the last one is the wow factor. I give it 5. You know,
Yeah.
for all that we've said, I was wow. I ordered it because we decided to review it this month, and it was a new deck that was coming out, and I thought, well, it looks interesting, and I like the House of Shadows, and I was like, wow. I was not expecting it to tick all the boxes for me, so I can't not give it a 5. Same?
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I said 5. Didn't I say 5? Yeah,
Oh,
the wow. Oh, sorry, the wow factor. Sorry, I'm still thinking about the cards. Yeah, absolutely. The wow factor for me is wow in the fact that I love it so much, and despite it being so different to anything I've got, and I put that as testament to the genius of the artist. So yeah, wow. It's got massive 5 stars for my wow factor.
Okay. So this is the moment of truth then. This is where we individually score it out of 10. We hold up our pieces of paper and we give it an overall Tarot Times score out of 30. Everybody's now searching for their bits of paper.
I ain't got a pen.
I don't believe we rehearsed this.
Yeah, we did. I was just trying to find my
While you're looking, can I just mention as well, because I forgot to say, when we did the decks for June, we also said we'd let you know if decks went out of print. And the New Choice Tarot de Marseille went out of print over the last month. I believe B-Jam Morris was the person to get the last deck. And I contacted Ross and he said that was the last one. And it is now out of print. All 500 have gone. So the New Choice Tarot de Marseille is now only available through third-party, you know, auction sites and things like that. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, where is it? There it is. Oh, is it in the camera?
What? Oh, you got 9 out of 10. So it gets 28 out of 30. This is our highest scored deck so far. 28 out of 30 for New Choice for Shadowlands. And what do you guys think in the chat? Have you got it? Do you enjoy it? Excellent score. Woo, says Jackie. Becca ranked higher than Simon. I know.
Ooh.
Yeah, I couldn't not give it a 10. Love it.
For me, if the card stock had been better, if they've got a fixed kind of price that was even, and yeah, that's it really. It would have got a 10 out of 10, but 9 out of 10 for me. Still on wish lists for people. People are saying they're surprised that you scored it higher than me, Becca.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got all my scores.
A bit of meaning with your scores.
Am I?
You were
No.
very generous for the Hush Tarot, so
Yeah. I mean, if I like it, I'm going to give it. Yeah.
Okay, so all that remains to do now then is the giveaway. So this is for last month's review deck, which was the Wizards Tarot. It's the one with the book by Barbara Moore. Elle didn't like hers, and so she will be giving hers away. So last month we gave away 2 Hush Tarots because neither me or Elle liked ours, and we gave them away. Which means, guys, there's not going to be a giveaway next month because we all love our Shadowlands. But there will be another giveaway soon, I'm sure. So, drum roll. And Becca's got the pieces of paper.
I've got them in my little singing bowl. So, give them a good old shake.
give it a good shake.
Give it a good shake. Give it another little ruffle. Okay. And the winner of the Wizards Tarot is Maharet.
Maharet.
Ooh.
Well done, Maharet. So, what's the thing to do there? So, if Maharet messages you, Elle, sends Elle a message, and obviously to swap addresses, or not swap addresses, Maharet gives you an address, and that will be sent out to you. So, congratulations, Maharet. You've won the Wizards Tarot. All right, so anything else that we want to say before we head off?
Oh, my leg's gone to sleep, but you don't need to know that.
No, I've really enjoyed this month. This reviewing this deck was an absolute pleasure, and yeah, and
Cool.
some good Kickstarters as well that I really like. So
yeah. So we will be back for edition 4, which will be on Saturday, the 27th of June at 4 p.m. Yeah, end of June already. So 27th of June. Just to say as well, thank you, Sandra, if you're still here in the chat, for doing the behind the scenes research for us. Always appreciated. So thank you, Sandra. And anything else from anyone?
Oh, what deck are we doing next month?
Oh yes, do we tell them? Do we normally say? Yeah, so you can join in with us. We're doing the Star Spinner Tarot in June. So Star Spinner. We've all ordered it, I believe. Mine's out for delivery, so it should arrive, I was hoping today, but
well, I'm having a bit of trouble as usual because Amazon told me to cancel the order because I couldn't get it. And I'm not the only one. A bunch of people in the community had the same message as well. So book depository it is then.
yeah, I just won't do Amazon anymore for pre-orders because they never fulfill. But recently book depository have, and again I got it for a good price. So again, that's one that goes up and down.
Oh, and thank you so much to Jen for doing all the links. You're the
Yeah,
best.
thank you, Jen. Really appreciate you putting the links in for us, and I'm sure everybody else does as well. So, all right, guys. So hopefully we will see you tomorrow for Tarathon, where we'll be making appearances throughout the day. And I hope you all have a lovely evening. Anybody going live tonight? I don't think. Not sure if Kelly is at the Truth is Story, or she hasn't done many Saturday nights recently, has she? But
Or
I know
anyone
you
do a surprise live. Anyone in the chat we can bully into going live. So I've got nothing else to do on Saturday night. So anyone want to entertain me?
most people are saving themselves for the Tarathon, I think. Not get much joy from people. But you never know. Somebody go live, says Shane.
Exactly. Yeah, come on, Shane. Oh, Shane, you should. Oh, he's not got a channel. I don't know how you do it, but.
All right then, everyone. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next month. Bye.